Hey, what's up everybody, it's your boy ZEALS, and today we're gonna go over the popularity tier list, or is it just numbers, rankings? You guys have asked me to take a look for a couple of weeks, couple months now. Sorry. Before we get right in though, let me just introduce myself real quick. I know I've been doing it a lot recently, but it'll make sense. It'll make sense. So I've been playing this game every single day since June. Already 5 months now. I poured a lot into this game. Time and money as well for science, for research purposes. Anyways, I love this game. That's why I did it. I love this game. And another thing that I really like to do, for those that hang out with me on Twitch, you guys already know, I love reading about this game and what is currently going on in the Korean server. The game has been out for 3 years. We're going to be celebrating the 3rd anniversary, as a matter of fact, in a couple of days. Really excited for that. I know we talk about this all the time. Every MMO boomers talk about this. It's not about how many days you've played. I don't care if you've started since day one, which I have as well, but it's all about how much you've played recently, because this game is an MMO. It's always changing and evolving. It can't stay the same, right? There are so many content patches, so many quality of life changes, so many things, balance patches, things like that, that is changing the game, changing the meta for PvP or PvE. And I really, even when I sit on the toilet, man, I love reading about this game. I watch hundreds of hours of Korean streamers, and they always talk about, of course, classes. And that's what we're going to take a look at today. Not what was popular 2 years ago or 3 years ago, but what people like playing currently. We're gonna use Loa today, one of the best fan sites, gathers all the information from all the players and their account information, characters, all the nitty-gritty details. See your favorite players, rankers, or you can see your favorite content creators. You can see the last time they progressed and all their alt information. Anyways, so far in Korea we have 8 servers. We all share the same auction house. There are a total of 141,000 guilds. There are about 1.2 million registered server accounts. So Ninav, Cillian, Aman, whoever you play on most will have a higher server level. Next, there are 6.5 million registered characters. Some people can have 1 character, some people have 24 characters per server. Now in Korea, we can have up to 5 accounts. So 24 characters, there are 8 servers. And if you have 5 different login account information, then so 1 person doesn't equal 1 character. That's what I'm trying to say. So this site starts tracking from 1340 and above. For NAEU, we're not gonna be at 1340 for a bit, but like I said, currently in Korea, right? What is going on currently, the current trends, the current drama or any controversies, that's what I'm going to cover today. And this is going to be mostly for PvE players. Now of course you can be 1500 and PvP, but if you just want to do some PvP, you don't have to be even 1340. So this is not going to be pretty relevant or accurate for PvP. And in terms of PvP, current scene in PvP, not that the system is bad, it just, the class balance doesn't really exist in PvP. I just want to let you guys know about that. I know you guys are going to be entering into the honeymoon phase, but that is just reality. 7 out of 10 posts that are upvoted in Korea are about their worries, whether there is even a development team for PvP. Is PvP abandoned? Is PvP dead? Like, can we get some, developers up in here? It's just tough, guys. 21 subclasses in Korea. Hard to balance it for both PvP and PvE. There hasn't been any new battlegrounds or arenas maps or anything interesting in terms of rewards. So those are some of the current issues, but that's for another video. At 1340 and above, there are 1.8 million characters. We can see that there are 63% female characters and 36. Whoa, what the heck? Has it been always this low for the female characters? I remember being way higher. Anyways, for positions, there are 2, supporters and dealers. We don't have healers in this game. We call them supports. We'll talk about that very soon. 15.6. So we have almost 16% supporters and 84% damage dealers. I'm very interested to see what this will be like in NAEU. In the alpha, I can't go into too much detail, but there were a lot of supports or people trying out supports. I'm glad about that. I hope that in the beta as well as the release, you know, whatever region that I'm playing in, I hope we got some supports, dude. We'll talk about that. And as for classes, I'm talking about the main classes, not subclasses. We have 20% warriors, 21% fighters, hunters 20.7%, and magicians 23%, and assassins 14%. You know what? I'm really surprised about the hunters. So we have 3 terms in Korea. 본캐 means main character. 부캐 means like your ults that you kind of care about. Main ults, I guess, like your secondary mains, you love them. And then we got in Korea 배럭, which means barracks, factories that are just there to pump you shilling, boss rush tickets for gems or materials for upgrading your weapon and all that stuff and more. No surprise, 10% we're gonna have bards at 180,000 players. Gunslingers, very popular in Korea. That's why hunters, the number is being inflated by the female version of Devil-Hunter or Deadeye in NAEU. Sorceress, surprisingly, wow, number 3. I mean, this is 1340 and above. And we got Warlords, not surprised about the Warlord. Sorceress though, man, she is really popular, but she is new and not as broken as Reaper on her release. Anyways, Reaper we got at 5th place. We got Lance Master at 6.1. Scouter, very good character to have as a barrack, very cheap. Rotation is super simple. Then we got Holy Knight at 5.79. Infighters and Blade. Striker at 4.37. Destroyer, Summoner, let me just see. Berzerker, Demonic, Battlemaster, Blaster, Arcana, Soulmaster, Hawkeye, and Deadblade at last place, 1.44%. That does not mean Deadblade sucks. He recently got buffed. We'll talk about him as we get higher. Now, the next breakpoint that I want to talk about is 1370. 1325 used to be where you kept your barracks, but now people are going to 1370, 1385, and recently 1415 with the Hyper Express, as well as just it's way more efficient to have alts or barracks at 1415. And it looks like it's gonna be Bard once again. It needs to be Bard. Not just Bard, but Bard and Holy Knight, because they are support. We need support. Support is awesome, okay? And we got Gunslingers at 7.67 once again. Very, very man. When people ask me on stream why Gunslinger is so popular in Korea, you know, I've watched interviews of tons of players in Korea being interviewed. Why do you like Gunslinger? And they were invited on Discord and they just said, hot looking character plus gun. What is there to not like? Plus her legendary outfit. Popularity does matter because the director of the game said, you know, during the live stream in Loa Mini, he did say that it is a little bit more scarier to nerf popular subclasses. I mean, rightfully so. You have more people whining and, you know, picking up their pitchforks for riots and sending trucks to the headquarters and megaphones, speakers to blast at the office. Things like that, man. I don't want to go too much into the bad side of the game. I don't want to go too much into the bad side, but that's what usually happens. Gunslingers did get nerfed, but it was like 3.5% recently. It's not enough. She was already busted before. She's still busted in PvE, in the end game, in the middle game, in the early game. She's just great overall. And yeah, waifu plus gun equals, yeah, massive amount of fans. Bard's been around since, yeah, the launch of the game, and support, who doesn't want to support? Makes the fight a lot easier, more forgiving for you to make a couple mistakes and be healed, protected, as well as mana restored and a bunch of other things we'll talk about. Holy Knight, relatively new support compared to Bard, but still popular, needs to be more popular. And I do hope that they do add another support. I hope that the Alchemist or the Specialist, whatever you want to call this new class coming in, be or have a subclass. So class, let's say Alchemist subclass. I hope there is a support role. Lance Master, super popular. Did I even say that correctly? Super popular in Korea. Very well-rounded. Scouter, very cheap to have as an ult. very cheap to set up. Koreans call it the rice farming, or I don't like saying that, but the gold farming subclass. Infighter, Reaper, Blade. Let's keep going down. Destroyer. It's pretty, you know, even, except for Devil Hunter at the last place. Devil Hunters had a rough life, man. They've been neglected, forgotten until recently. They finally got the love, man. As well as Arcana, they finally got the love as well. Soulmaster in the Soulmaster, on the other hand, got nerfed, and everyone's like, what? Every streamer, every community post, like, what happened? Like, Soulmasters weren't even angry. They were just on the floor crying. 1415, 3300 gold from Bolton. The first Commander, Legion Commander raid, endgame boss. And then at 1445 is when you can do Bolton hard. And 1460, if you push your gear one more time, you'll gain 15 eye levels per slot. You'll go to 1460. And that's when you can encounter Byaku's hard. 1430 is when you can start doing Byaku's normal. But the next breakpoint that I want to look at is 1460, where you can do Bolton hard and Byaku's hard. You can enter at that eye level. And we have Bard once again leading the way. Gunslingers at 8.14. Warlords coming up. Warlord is one of the most popular damage dealing subclass in the game. Huge community, and the average age for Warlords are pretty much up there. We call it like the CEO's character. The community is massive. Not as massive as Bards, but it's still strong and massive in Korea. The Bard community is huge. They have like meetups, very well written guides and pictures and everything of how to solo, because Bards, while they're support, they still need to do like some single player content like towers. So there are very well detailed guides. The Bard community is insane. We have Lance Master, very popular still, so strong and well-rounded right now. We call them the Yukkakyong. Yukkakyong means well-rounded in like all 6 criteria. So we'll talk about that soon. Holy Knight, 6.1. Infighters, hanging in there always. Sorceress, new but super popular. Reapers, yeah, 5.24. As we go up in eye level, Reapers should be dropping a little bit, but there are still a lot of Reapers from the past. Scouters, Blade is getting a lot of traction and popularity right now with the recent patch. Battle Masters, Berzerker is very strong, and Destroyers at 3.41. The mascots and the happy meme for this game, they have to wear the Mokoko suit with the inflated summer hammer skin. People in Korea don't play Destroyer to be the big D. Mostly people play Destroyer because he is so cute, okay? His abilities are so funny. It has long animation times. When it lands, it's cool as hell. All your stress, woo, goes away. But when they miss, man, the Destroyers get so frustrated. Everybody around the Destroyer notices it. It's like, you know, this cracks us up. They just crack us up. Next, we got Summoners, Blasters, Striker, Demonic, Arcana, Hawkeye. Pretty much the same pattern down there. Now, next, let's go to Kouku-Saton. 1475, we can enter Kouku-Saton. Now, Warlords went up. Like I said, very, very popular. Such a, I don't want to say the word broken, but such a well-rounded class for boomers or pros, all alike, man. Warlords are just amazing. And then we got Holy Knights at number 4. Infighter 5. We got the Anich girls at 5 and 6. Infighter as well as Lancemaster. So Anich is like their race, right? Reapers are called Darrens. So we got Reaper, Scouter, Sorceress, as well as Blade, Berzerker, Battlemaster. And it looks pretty much the same down below. Now let's go to 1490, where people can enter the last raid that is currently out, which is Aurashid. I think she's going to be renamed Breshaza in English for the NAEU servers. Once again, Bards, Warlords. Bards and Warlords, great utility. They bring so many things to the raid. Bards, like I said, same as Holy Knights. They bring mana restoration, which is pretty big for certain damage dealers. There will be specs in the endgame that just runs out of mana. So we kind of have to like rely on mana food as well as Holy Knights and Bards. Holy Knight does bring a little bit more mana regeneration at the end game, but Like, it's not gonna be in Korea. We're not like, oh, Holy Knight only. There's no bias or anything like that. We just need supports. Holy Knight bars, they also buff your damage. They also, through the tier sets, make the bosses more, or the targets you're fighting, more vulnerable, meaning that you'll deal more damage, TLDR, as well as increasing your attack speed. They also, TLDR, reduce the damage that you take. It's not like forever, it's just temporary. They both have great counterattacks. Bars got great break damage. Break is super important. Counterattacks, break, destruction abilities are very important in the end game. Warlord, just to go over quickly, they have great support as well, but insane consistent damage, burst damage as well. They have so many things. They have self shield, group shield, Nella good. They have taunt. You can't taunt like the end game bosses, but taunt is still great to skip mechanics. Did I mention that Warlords can stand in things, stand in mechanics and not get knocked around? And one of their awakening skills, their ult, prevents people from getting CC'd or knocked around as well. Being able to stand in things and, you know, just face the boss just increases his damage, because while others are running, he's dealing damage. It's awesome. Not only that, he has great counter, he has great break damage, he has great destruction damage. So yeah, Warlords, as well as the rest of the Shoeshire boys, yeah, like Berzerker and Destroyers, they got great break, great destruction. Yeah, they're very sturdy. The race overall, in terms of Chebang, that's what we call max HP, as well as defense. You gotta also think about that, guys. Shoeshire as a race is very sturdy, on top of everything else I said, like self shields, like Destroyers got self shields, Warlords. Yeah, they're crazy. Gunslingers are paper in Korea, right? Paper, easily cut, easily punctured, but she does have a lot of movements. She can pretty much go wherever the hell she wants, as long as she's within the range of the boss to track what the boss is doing. But yeah, she's not gonna be stuck in shotgun range or melee range like Devil Hunter, or have to go for back attacks like Devil Hunters. So Gunslingers don't have that situational or positional requirement, so she's very free, does massive damage, pure damage dealer. Infighters, sturdy. Once again, you Kakyeong got everything. Got good break, got destruction, good counter, very safe class. One of the most popular classes. Damage, the only thing people complain about for Infighters, yesterday we were talking about this, the Korean streamers were talking about this with their community, is just the ceiling damage. If the ceiling damage could be increased a little bit, that'd be nice. Reapers, we'll talk about Reapers in a bit. Holy Knights, great. Last Masters, they're so well-rounded. And we got Summoner. Summoner is very good as well right now. She can use double class engravings, pretty busted. Berzerkers are doing really well before the balance patch, and better afterwards. Blade, like I said previously, doing better after the balance patch. Battle Masters got nerfed in terms of their damage, but still hanging on. People are transitioning into a better spec. Sorceress, very competitive, but in terms of the Chebang, the max HP and defense, a bit squishy. We talked about Destroyer, beefy, meaty, carrying that heavy load. That hammer takes a while to swing it. It lands, it hits hard. If it doesn't land, people will be like, it's okay, you're a Destroyer. We'll just laugh with you. We got Arcana, Demonic, Hawkeye, Soulmaster, Devil Hunter once again. All right, so let's go into, let's see, 1520 is when you can do Abrashud stage 5 and 6. You can finally face her. Now, the highest eye level in Korea, it's been raised from 1590 to 1615, and now above that because of the Esther weapons. Esther weapons are the new, pretty much, where is it? Esther weapons are pretty much, oh, my bags are dirty. Let me show you guys Bell Tomato Ramen, the world first. I was screaming when this happened. The world first Esther weapon level 6. Esther weapon is something that you're supposed to take a while, months, maybe a year, that you craft slowly, and then you'll gain special powers from the Esthers, the heroes of this game, the good guys of this game. TLDR without spoilers. So with that being said, we don't have like a 1600 tab yet, but so 1575 and above. The 1575 is the old max eye level. Now, I know you can see a lot of Reapers here, but a lot has pretty much re-rolled. That's because Reapers got slapped with the nearly 40% damage nerf, and that's pretty much her only job, to do damage. She is a selfish damage dealer like Berzerker, where they soak all the synergy and try to deal as much damage as possible. But her damage got slapped. So in terms of even damage, she's not the greatest. And on top of that, she's one of the squishiest. On top of that, she has to worry about positioning for damage. She has to do back attacks. And it's just rough when the bosses are spinning and there's random aggro. There's no tank to like hold threat or taunt in this game, right? So the Reaper is just spinning round and round while dodging mechanics. So a lot of players in Korea have left their Reapers. It's really sad because I really like Reapers as well. But yeah, it's just what it is. And not only that, man, just the memes. And the public perception of Reapers just not that good. So she doesn't really get invited too often. She does, according to the balance team and the internal data, she does have one of the highest, you know, percentage of getting declined from groups, because not only all the things that I've said before, she doesn't have great destruction, her break damage for the moon spec isn't that great, and if she wants to counter, it's gonna screw up that 3 red spell rotation cycle. We call it a cycle, single cycle, meaning fitting in all 3 red spells. Gunslingers, squishy. However, unlike Reapers, Gunslingers can use her movement abilities, her skills to escape, get into better positions, while Reapers do have a lot of mobilities. If you're the moon spec, you gotta use it in order to generate your class identity to be able to even go into stealth. So you gotta sacrifice a lot if you're gonna use it for movement, whereas Gunslingers, you don't sacrifice much. Berzerkers, they're just great, and rotation is not that hard. Battle Masters, still popular. Lance Masters, very popular still. Blade, getting a lot of traction right now. Arcana, also loved as well. She doesn't have great break damage, worse than Reaper, but still she's one of the most, like, I guess this is subjective, but she is very fun. There's some RNG involved. There is literally gacha in the class. We have Scouters, we have Blaster, Demonic. Yeah, Demonic is like Reaper as well as Berzerker, where they suck all the synergy to do good damage. But there are subclasses that provide synergy and do great damage as well. So it's not about, yes, every class, every subclass can clear the game, and they have. All of them have cleared the end game. They have all beaten hard mode Abrashud before the nerf. However, in the raid environment, you're not gonna bring 6 Reapers and 2 support, right? You need to bring synergy. Like Blade provides extra damage for head attacks and back attacks, movement speed. Just because Hawkeye's down here doesn't mean Hawkeye sucks. All right, this is just popularity. Hawkeyes are doing well. Deadhunters got buffed. Sorceresses, they're relatively new, so they're down here. But yeah, Sorceresses, they're not trash. Strikers, so male and female versions. They look the same on the outside. They are not the same at all in the end game in PvE. They are so vastly different. Strikers and Battle Masters are so different. They stack different stats. They have different defensives. The Chebang Strikers currently have to go for the back attacks. They gotta chase the backs, but they don't have as much movement speed as Battle Masters. Strikers' ceiling damage is nuts, but you just gotta work so much more harder to land those back attacks. And in the last couple of weeks, there's been so much drama and controversy and videos, people covering this issue of this Samyar dealers, which is the back attack tier set. Back attack, head attacks, how it's just in the current endgame. After Abrashud came out, how much of a pain in the butt it is for the people that have to use these tier sets, like Strikers, Devil Hunters, even some Infighters, Warlords before they went into Blue Warlord spec, Chunte spec. Holy Knights are really great, according to the best Theory Crafter, best player in Korea, Mr. Pofficial, we call it Pofficial. Holy Knights in the end game is performing a little bit better than Bards, but doesn't matter. There's no bias. All right, we bring both. We bring what we can. We're lacking support, as we can see. We have only oh wait, only what? Almost 12% instead of 25%, right? Healthy is at least 25%. We don't even crack half of that in the end game right now. In the end game. That sucks. That is why playing support is such an easy life. Not only do you not consume as many potions, but you just get invited to guilds, groups, pre-made groups, whatever. a lot easier. And that's another thing, especially for pure damage dealers who do not provide much to the group. Like, for example, Reapers. You trying to get into groups is going to be a lot tougher than, for example, Bards or Warlords who bring so much to the table. Anyways, I just want to finish the video saying this is just for current time in Korea. It does not mean anything for NAEU just yet, except for the part that, what the heck? Support is a lot lower than I thought, and no wonder everybody's spamming for support. And I'll be very interested to see what happens in the beta. We'll have information about the beta like we did for alpha. We'll go from there. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for checking out my video. I'll be making a video more about how to pick your main. If you're new to this channel and you're all about that Lost Ark from the eyes of a nerd who only look at this game and research and look up this game and the community, what's happening, the gold inflation, the pay-to-win situation in Korea, NAEU, and all of that stuff, make sure you subscribe, hit this video a like, leave a comment down below what you're gonna play for the beta, what you're going to be trying out. I think that is the thing that I'm most interested about. I know I've been talking a long time. Anyways, I'm gonna end the video. Peace.